Hello, asynchronous listeners to the Broom Radio podcast. This is Field Tuning, hosted by myself, Intrepid Bodies, held down container wise by other members of the pod in the breathing room. And I just want to welcome you to this April Fool's Mercury Gatorade Eclipse Sandwich hodgepodge of a reading. In general, if you're somebody who is listening to this on YouTube or Spotify, I would genuinely love to know how, this cosmic season is treating you. So feel free to comment. And again, thank you to everybody who is here, Mercury Gatorade, who's here live and just contributing to this container. I really appreciate it. So let's get into these cards. I have a new deck that I'm working with today, the Gypsy Witch Tarot, and it's new for me. I'm also going to be using the Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards, just again, as like symbolic representations of what this week may have for us. And I'm hoping to break this reading down into two different groups. One card already flew out. Just intuitively, I'm going to go with 3 cards per group. Will you guide us, show us, lead us the breadcrumbs for this upcoming week? Guide us, support us, make those breadcrumbs as loud as they need to be. And yeah, you light it up. So I'm just shuffling our cards right now. At the bottom of the deck for the Gypsy Tarot, we have, I haven't pulled the other card over yet, so we have the Ace of Spades, which pictures a rapier sword, R-A-P-I-E-R. And so it says, the rapiers warn us against assaults which threaten and will occur sooner or later, according to the distance from the person. And so basically that's just how the deck is read. What I'm getting from that is like, this reading might be about psychic defenses, defenses. So there might be something in here for somebody who's looking for something about like protection. I'm already kind of like getting into the message, but that's just the bottom of the deck. I'm going to start with the first set of cards. And we have the King of Hearts, the Jack of Hearts, and the King of Diamonds. The King of Hearts, the Jack of Hearts, and the King of Diamonds. So I'm going to do my thing and take a photo, read what these cards are about, and start off with group 1, whoever group 1 is. Gaia says this read is low-key reminding me of a game of spades. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, that's why I got this deck. Because I like playing cards. I used to play playing cards a lot growing up. We used to play like spades and speed in like 5th grade. So as soon as I saw these cards, I was like, this might be dope. This might be dope. So we have the King of Hearts, which reads number 24. It says, hand in hand indicates confiding disposition. When in close proximity to 38, 39, 42, and 47, which is just a particular spread, which I'm not doing today, friendship will warm into love. When near 45, favor will be found with superiors. Near 48, financial success. So group 1, I instantly just want to say, like some sort of work that has been done, whether it's like been planetary alchemy, internal alchemy, some sort of, I'm hearing the word remediation. I even hear regarding the planet Jupiter has like kicked in. So in other words, like the work that we do to like refine our relationship to like fortune, luck, success, the effulgence of like manifestations coming into fruition, it kind of feels like spirit's like tapping the bell, like, okay, okay, like challenge time over. Now it's time to like experience the abundance. And I also even think about the way that Jupiter shows up in succession. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. Now I'm still healing from surgery. Jupiter comes after Saturn, right? Anybody, not all at once. According to distance from the Earth. It's closer than Saturn. Okay, thank you. It's before Saturn. Okay. Okay. Thank y'all for the clarification. Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. I was like, okay, what order does this lesson go in? But I don't think it's that linear. But it does feel like something ripening around luck, around fortune, around success. Also, this like ripening of friendship into love and like friendship into like deeper love, I feel, or like a relationship just deepening, period. Like the breadth of a relationship being saturated in like the lessons and the karma that like both people have had to like go through together. Yes, thank you, Anna. Anna says they are next to each other in any event. Yeah, I'm like, there's something about this relationship between like the time one spends toiling over a particular lesson and like offering their like devotion and like true focus and the best of themselves to a particular goal, and how like that's like, to me at least, like the most integrous way to generate like success is honestly just like working hard at it, you know? So yeah, I feel like that's what this King of Hearts is speaking to. The Jack of Hearts. So it's interesting. We have two hearts next to each other. The heart suite, again, I think this is connected to the heart chakra for group one. And so again, I do want to say like all these groups might be you too. Like this could be different parts of you in each reading. So just want to say that. The Jack of Hearts reads number 22. The book presages the discovery of a mystery affecting the person for the better, in a degree governed by the distance. So again, the distance just references that spread, which I'm not doing today. And so this is about how the book passages or presages. Okay, so a book prophesizes the discovery of a mystery affecting the person for better. So some sort of event, some sort of like auspicious moment being the catalyst for something great is like is like the only way that I can put it, is also being part of this realization for group one. So for group one, it feels like this particular section of the reading is focused on the heart. This is focused on how the heart and the mind co-create and precipitate things like success and like fulfillment, because that is, I feel like, the heart's primary like desire is like emotional fulfillment. And so these two cards next to each other, it's interesting because there's no queen here, but that's okay. I feel like she's behind the scenes maybe, but this Jack and this King signify this individual or this aspect of oneself that's willing to go like hard for what they really love, because they also know, I guess, that it's quote unquote worth it. So yes, that's what I'm getting for group one. But let's loop in this King of Diamonds. This King of Diamonds reads number 15. It says the letter is a good sign, which is, I mean, the letter is pictured on the card as well. The letter is a good, it's a sign of good tidings. When near and when touching indicates unexpected good fortune. Okay, so group one, prepare yourself is ultimately the guidance here. Or anyone who has been working on, if you've been working on stuff regarding your heart, if you've been working on healing your heart, healing how you feel about things, healing your outlook on life, it just feels like something about this particular week is going to be filled with fortune. And I also feel like, because the bottom of the card at the bottom of the deck, I'm being drawn to, like, my head turned instantly there. I feel like it's also about like the work, or maybe some of this work that you've been going through. These cards are like mirroring back to you that You may have felt threatened or felt the need to like overprotect something, some aspect of yourself relating to fortune, relating to like love, relating to the way that things affect you, whether for better or worse. I feel like what's happening is like some of that fear of disillusionment is kind of like, that's how I'm hearing it. Like a fear of disillusionment is kind of like lifting in this particular season for one person. No, not just one person, but like some of us. I don't know why I said one person, but it could be for some of us. Um, yeah. So group one, pay attention to how things are making you feel. Pay attention to what happens. Third is also saying pay attention to what happens in your body. This might sound really superficial when you're around money, or like when you're holding money, or like when you're dealing with money. Like even if it's fiat currency, or if you're like having transactions through like the net, you know, like doing like mobile transactions. See how your body feels when you're looking at like numbers, and how that whatever comes up is obviously communicating something to us to some degree. Maybe if it's not obvious, this might be an opportunity this week, might be an opportunity to see what happens when like, even like if you're purchasing something, look at the price and like see what happens to your body. And like try not to even have a narrative about it. Like just let it come up and see what happens. Cause I feel like it's going to be pivotal in helping you transform the way that you look at yourself regarding being on a successful timeline, quote unquote, successful timeline. Um, any questions? Any questions, my comrades? Let me look at the chat. And it says, I like the shape on the King of Diamonds person. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that shape is really interesting. I love that. Gaia says, my right hand has been itching. Haha. Money. I'm looking for the money emoji. Yes, it also feels like, yeah, coming into some money or some sort of realization about money. Nobu writes, this aligns, LOL, regarding guarding. Oh, yes, totally. Thank you for reflecting. Feels like it's tickling a blockage. Ooh, please feel free to say more. And I'm going to set myself up for the next set of cards. Yeah, I feel like some stuff is coming up for me in my heart around this. And I also feel like it's been in my purview a little bit. Like this whole thing with money, my relationship to success. So, yeah, part of that really aligns for me too. Oh, wow. That's powerful, dude. Mm-hmm. Definitely same on the second part. Nobu says, I've been called to leave some notifications on my phone up around receiving money and also spend more than I feel comfortable with. Yeah, totally. And just observe what gets kicked up so I can release it. Uh, mhm. Mm. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's such a powerful form of what I would call like alchemy. So I'm really happy you mentioned that and shared your process. I was reading about that. Yeah. Guy says, this is reminding me of something I came across a few weeks back. And Nobu says, I also had Shopify disable payouts because I work by donation. Yo, fuck that. I'm also sharing the image or the second group of cards, group two. Just so we can scry it and see it. You're oh my god, I've listened to this song so many times this weekend. So many times. Off record, on record. Doesn't matter. We have a whole lot of money remix by Bia and Nicki Minaj, not featuring Nicki Minaj, and Nicki Minaj, which I love. So, group number 2, we have the Two of Spades, which reads number 34. And it says, the star ensures success in all enterprises when near. When distant, well, it's near, so I won't even read distant because it speaks to unlucky events, but it's the first card in the reading. So again, success. Again, we have success for group 2. What I'm feeling though, the difference, and there does feel like a difference between the success of group 1 and group 2. Like group 1 feels like emotional fulfillment. I honestly feel like this is about to be about the bag. Like group 2 is about to be about the physical effect of like having and feeling and tuning into where your abundance lies, whether it's like metaphysical abundance, whether it's physical abundance, emotional abundance was more like group 1. But this feels like tangible stuff. So, and I haven't even gotten into the second card. Second card is the Eight of Hearts. Oh, there's some cats. Aw, that's cute. And they're orange cats, which I really love. It reads number 36. The cat indicates flattery. If near number 6, foretells personal injury. Near 29 and 30, it denotes strife. So we don't have any of those numbers in this reading. So I think that this is about flattery. What I'm hearing is like the energy of working a room is coming into play here. So something about like networking and like one's network being part of their net worth. This is really beautiful because I feel like this is kind of the success that the Two of Spades is also indicating as well. This sort of like sort of, I don't know what to call it, but it's like, have y'all ever met somebody? I guess like the example that's coming into mind is like, have y'all ever met somebody who always has a job, who always is like strapped, not like always paid with like a lot of money, but they're always like good, like fiscally, like people in your life who you never have to worry about if you invite somewhere. And I mean, I'm not trying to create like a fiscal hierarchy because I feel like I've been on both sides where I'm like, I'm the friend who's always got it and is like, oh my God, put it on my tab. And other times where I'm like, hey friend, I haven't been reaching out to you because I'm broke, shielding. But it's like, okay, so that's what's kind of coming to mind right now. Like somebody whose sense of financial security, or like somebody in your life who exudes a sense of financial security that you find like that you deem meritable, like worth, like that has merit, like that you respect them basically. And so I feel like what's coming up right now is like calling on that like energy signature, right? And like kind of emulating like what is it that you like about that person and the way that they live their life, and like what is it about financial security that would really make it worthwhile for you, like putting in the kind of work that you need. And this also speaks to like, yeah, like there's like a twofold parts of group two because I feel like it relates to like on the one hand like tapping into like what inspires you about financial security and that kind of like fiscal flow, and then also like tapping into like what you would need to do that to like make these goals a reality. So is it about expense sheets? Maybe so. Is it about money trackers? Maybe so. Is it about downloading an app to figure out what subscriptions you spending money on that you don't need to be? Maybe. Is it about bundling subscriptions? It's about pooling subscriptions with your friends and family? Maybe so. And it's not about saving money. This is about like strategy, like imbuing this the spirit of the money that you know that you're coming into and that you have come into before in the past and that you've seen is possible for other people. So this is like, it's interesting because it feels like Aquarian, but it's like if Aquarius was like an earth sign, and how would that kind of person think about money is like what I'm getting from this. So yeah, I'm going to read the last card and then I'm going to read the comments. and kind of channel whatever's going on in this Six of Clubs. Is this clubs? Child, I almost called it something else. So we have the Six of Clubs, which denotes number 43. And it says lightning denotes surprise, disagreeable and according to distance. And so it's the third card, which doesn't really denote distance for me. Again, my intention is not to kind of create that spread. I'm just pulling cards for the week. And this lightning denoting surprise, this is kind of where I feel like this earthy, like sense of fiscal security is going to kind of, and like the way that it looks for each person individually is going to like strike like lightning. And like there's going to be like for group 2, I feel like portals and opportunities, places to see what that sense would feel like for you on a material level. And you might surprise yourself with the level of strategy that you come into, how savvy you become, how savvy you see yourself becoming about your money. And again, this is not about frugality. This is about strategy. And I almost want to pull a clarifier to kind of see if there's any guidance that spirit might have around this comport of like of strategy and wit and savvy around money. Spirit, are there any other messages you have for group 2? All right, let me take a photo of this. We have the 4 of spades. This is about success as well, y'all. We get into the money. Everybody mad. Okay. So the 4 of spades says the key nearby is a certain augury of success, but if surrounded by unlucky cards, the prognosis is illness. Ain't nobody worried about that because none of these cards were unlucky. Not saying that that's not a possibility. If there is about if this is about illness and this is about I had 2 queens jump out as soon as I said something about illness. I'm not going to add it to the reading, but I'm just going to scry it. Yes. Mm. Mm. Interesting. At first I wanted to like bypass that whole thing about illness. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier when I was like spiritual protection. Ooh, this is a download. This is about like protecting your dreams and like how I feel often and what I hear from my guides is like the main way to like protect your dreams is to execute them, like to just manifest them and to like take up that space. And it's not just about like, again, wanton manifestation. This is about strategy and like doing it with a lot of savvy. After the, okay, I'm going to take photos of these cards that dropped out. We have the 8 of spades. The mountains nearby indicate the presence of a mighty energy. Yeah, this is about putting on group 2. I feel like the secondary point of guidance is about how this sort of abundance that might strike is going to sort of, it's going to, if group 2 aligns with you, whatever these money blocks are, they're going to come up. But as soon as they do come up, it's almost like you're going to be offered an opportunity to hop on a parallel timeline of sorts and allow yourself the chance to, see the other side of the spectrum, right? And it's going to kind of reveal to you how powerful you are, how powerful not only your manifestation capabilities are, but how much you are driving the boat in the sense that, yes, you are connected to your higher self. Yes, you are aligned, but it's also like, okay, baby, if you need something to show you, no worries. The universe can do that too, you know? Is there anything else you want to speak to about illness? Any guidance that you might have for anybody who is listening to this and might be feeling under the weather? I'm like, I gotta hold space for my homies who are sick. Is there anything about protection? Yes. It's interesting because earlier I was saying earthy, but I was also feeling into fire. So like fire ritual might be good for group 2. Because the card that came out is the 7 of diamonds. It says flames indicate the hearth. Oh, on the hearth indicate good fortune and neutralizes the evil of near lying unlucky cards in the creases of the lucky ones of the creases and increases the value of the lucky ones. Child, can't read. So I'll read that again. Flames on the hearth indicate good fortune and neutralizes the evil of near lying unlucky cards and increases the value of lucky ones. So fire ritual might be par for the course. Simple as a candle. Simple as lighting some incense. I also feel like incense is really good, simple earth and fire ritual. So that's what we have for group 2. That was big. I know. Well, I also feel like for the illness, this is about like burning away that, like sometimes people will like do that, like burn incense, open the windows in their house after they get over being sick. It's definitely something I do. So I also feel like that might be par for the course for anybody who is feeling sick. Work with fire. Work with fire. So I'm gonna read some of this chat. All right, so let's see what we got. I was saying something somewhere about electricity earlier, and it says, Ashay. That was me, Nobu says, regarding fiscal secure people. Anna shares a receipt and safety. Let me go to this. The energy in the past 24 hours is just somewhat electric. It absolutely is. Thank you for saying. I feel like for me, it would be like not having to do it myself would make it worth it. Ashe, Nobu said that. I said the Ashe. Guy says so communal. Is that question or statement? Either way, I agree. Nobu says, oh yeah, makes sense on Aquarian and Earth. Yeah, interesting. It's like celestial and earthy, both of it. Psychonaut says, I think there is a very real danger to coming into material wealth when one concentrates on it too much to the degree of being protective over it. If you do, then money becomes the means instead of the ends. Ashe. And that's what I feel like is in the reading of especially group 2, like re-imbuing the spirit behind the money you do have, right? Like maybe what we can do instead of like complaining about like rich people is like reclaim that energy and like re-imbue the spirit of the money that we have so that it has way more purpose and that it's not intended to be hoarded. It's intended to be shared. Like money should be sharing based with the spirit of generosity, but a lot of the times it shares space with or channels the spirit of greed. And I feel like this is about rewiring that through our experience, not only with money, but like even like I can feel the energy of that, of like what is abundance, what is wealth. And one of the primary things that I feel like is coming up right now is, and I don't mean to be cliche about it, is health, right? Is like the ability to, and not saying that that's the only form, definitely don't want to come off as ableistic, but I do think that there's some sort of something that spirit wants to point our attention to this week regarding kind of tapping into gratitude at opportune or auspicious moments and just seeing what happens. Even if the outcome isn't income, it can be something totally different. And that's often for me what's happened. Like when I'm going to chase the bag, I end up having a spiritual awakening. And I'm like, funny how that works. Funny how that works. No, and I'm really glad that you brought that in, Psychonaut, because I feel like it speaks to just so many different things. And what I get from that is like the metaphysical, like the spirit behind money kind of is almost asking to be transformed. Nobu writes, and watch how the people around you react when you're focused on your own dreams rather than theirs. Ooh, that's a big part of it. That might be why sickness is coming up, because these hoes might be sick. Period. I'm sorry. Anna says, how do we know what group we're in? We feel it in our body. We feel it in our body. Yeah, you might be all three. There's no rules. Health is wealth, Anna says. Said jokingly, but also like not. Gaia says this feels like being discerning about how you move with money and paying attention to the energies behind everything, because some people do want to take advantage of you when you have money, sure do. And I think it's about discerning what you need to regarding your relationship with money. And so if it's about that shiesty energy, like people come around as soon as you come up, it's like, I burn off that timeline with that fire ritual. Even visualizing like fire around some of those blocks somatically could be helpful too. And also how you act around people with money, exactly. And how people with money act around you. Because I'm like, it's a mirror. Oh, I appreciate y'all's reflections. Big things this week, I feel. A lot of like maturing vibes, I feel this week. I'm going to go ahead and pull and share group number 3, but I'm also holding space. Feels good and responsible. Guys, says I share. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Are you guys feeling called to like any particular group right now? I'm kind of curious. Anna says, I like 2 so far. Look for Linda says 1 for me. Gaia says all of them. Nobu says 1 for me is the loudest. 2 feels like it's in play. And 3 somewhat, Linda says. Nice. Super sweet. It's interesting because the psychic protection piece hasn't come out yet. Yeah, 3 is definitely still loading for me. I haven't even really looked at it yet. Totally, guys, as I second what Nova said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Anna says she loves the visuals in 3. There's something more dynamic instantly as I pulled this, pull these cards over. Ooh, I just got chills. Okay. I'm gonna read these cards. We have the 5 of clubs, and it's picturing a clover, which is really auspicious. That's what I thought this suit was, by the way. And we have, it reads number 33. The clover leaf is a bearer of good tidings, but if near clouds, it denotes great chagrin. If, however, number 2 does not lie near 29 or 28, let me scan. No, we're good. The chagrin will be of short duration, and happiness will follow. What does chagrin? What does chagrin mean?
I feel like that might be a Yiddish word, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see.
I'm gonna look it up though. Hold on. Distress. Yeah. Is it Yiddish?
Melancholy. Countable and uncountable, though. Distress of mind caused by failure of aims or plans, want of appreciation. Oh Lord, have mercy, vexation. Lord have mercy. I was playing a song called No Vex before field tuning started. Ooh, I'm gonna pause right there. Curious what comes up for y'all. I am curious too if it does have Yiddish roots.
It doesn't. My mom just uses it all the time.
Ah, that's so fire. Chagrin. Mm. So, ooh, there are clouds though, y'all. So it says if near clouds, it denotes great chagrin. So lots of distress, sorrow. Okay, group three. Okay, group three. Okay, group three. I hear you. You want more cards. I hear you. Hang on one second, y'all. Let me pull some more. Feel free to unmute if anyone has any reflections too, while I kind of widen the container of this spread. Okay. Can you say more on it, on that, Nobu?
Yeah, I was just saying that it reminds me of a hexagram in the I Ching, which is commonly called like biting or biting through. But I guess what's coming through to me right now is just like ripping a band-aid off.
Yeah, I remember that conversation too. Anna says I remember on the hexagram. It's really interesting because something really auspicious just happened as I was shuffling the cards to expand this deck. The card on rapiers, the sword, came up again as the bottom of the, like as the card indicating the bottom of the deck, which means even after I shuffled it, this card was at the bottom. Come on in. I'm just on field tuning. Okay. So again, ooh, Nobu says cutting your losses. So yeah, there's this energy. I think group three is the one that message around psychic protection was for. So let me share the three expander cards that I pulled for this group. And then we gonna tag and I want to say smelt some of this down together. If that's cool with y'all. So just to kind of recap for those who are listening asynchronously, for group three, we have the 5 of clubs, the 6 of hearts, and the 10 of clubs, which I haven't even gotten into yet. And so after reading, kind of touching and scrying into those cards, we pulled 3 more clarifiers, which are indicated by the 2 of diamonds, the 9 of diamonds, and the king of spades. So as I scry these cards, this is about stressors. This is about kind of the vibe that I get is like group 3 represents an individual, is represented right now in my mind's eye by an individual who is kind of vexed or like a little bit, I'm getting the energy of like chip on one shoulder, which like drove their success, drove why they did a lot of what they did, drove them to places like high places. And so I think being driven by particular, I guess, like fears can literally be the reason for a lot of people's distress. I feel, in my opinion, I've just kind of felt it in myself. I've been meditating a lot on burnout, and that's what's coming up for me right now, is just kind of like the felt reality of like having a timeline in your body that represents a time that you were burnt out and how heavy that can be. And like how a lot of people are carrying that around and kind of think that they're depressed or assume that they're kind of dealing with some sort of disordered way of like being, when in reality it's like you're kind of healing from just how heavy and dense it is to be alive, to be like, yeah, striving from wounding. Yeah, Ashe Nobu says that. And I think that that can create that ricochet. Striving from wounding can like weigh really heavily on one's soul, on one's heart. And so I think the Six of Hearts kind of represents that here, right? So it says the house denotes success in all ventures. If in the present condition it is unpleasant, the future will be happy and prosperous, and also predicts marriage. And so this kind of speaks to like the dream, like hashtag the dream, when people are like, I'm living the dream. And so this is about the shadow side of that. Like, so what other dreams do you have to give up to live a particular dream? What do you have to weigh out? What do you need to live the kind of like lifestyle and have the sort of outcome from life that you want? It actually takes way more surrendering, in my opinion, than it does control. And I feel like that's the message here for group 3. And for me, what's also coming up with the 10 of clubs, it reads, the towers surrounded by clouds denotes sickness. And what is this saying? If adjoining, it represents shielding death. So the end of something that has been, I feel, keeping you from your sense of like emotional fulfillment. And so if this whole entire reading is about these swords that cut us, and sometimes I feel like this in group 3 in particular is like highlighting how like the sword that cuts us can sometimes be one that's like sharpened by other parts of ourselves. And so owning and taking responsibility for things like that, I think kind of helps not just anyone, but helps in terms of like clearing space for other outcomes. Even if it doesn't mean that you're going to be particularly healed, 100% healed in this particular way, does it stop you from like living life? And so I feel like that's what the first part of this spread is speaking to for group 3. Then we have the Two of Diamonds. It says that this card represents, it's number 18, this card represents the lady whose fortune is being told, and all other cards affected to a degree in accordance to their relative proximity. When a lady's fortune is being told, number 19 has no significance in the layout. So this is regarding the layout. The Two of Diamonds, I think, represents just the principle of femininity, the principle of receptivity, the principle of tuning into your body and seeing what it's communicating to you about a particular circumstance, whether it's a job, and then also how long it takes for you to make those moves regarding what your body is telling you. Like, what is the time delay between, oh my God, it's making me think of a meme right now. But Spirit wants us to kind of inquire, like, what is the time delay between when you realize something and then when you act upon it? You know, how deep does your level of gnosis go about what you want, and can it be a little bit deeper? Is what I think the Two of Diamonds is speaking to, especially regarding the feminine principle that's in everyone. And it's interesting because it's like a dual mirror, right? It's a woman receiving fortune cards as I sit here, pull fortune cards as a woman for all of us who do obtain a feminine principle inside of ourselves. So this is like, if we're in a hall of mirror, it's like the Two of Diamonds is this like supra mirror that's like, okay, and now this is the part of the story where we all look within. In other words, it's kind of like what's being channeled. I hope that wasn't too abstract. And so after the Two of Diamonds, we have the Nine of Diamonds. So again, this diamond suit, this one reads number 39. It simply says, the heart signifies great joy when this card is near. So it's almost like that's what that mirror is sending back to us in the greater scope of this reading and this poll and for this group. To me, this speaks to how you can really be blocking your own blessings. And that's okay. And that's okay because the universe is that supreme mirror. Your guides, your ancestors, that vaster sense of yourself that you tap into, it is the great mirror, and it's going to show you what it is that you want in your heart. It's not going to show you what you think you want. It's going to show you what you want in your heart. And so surrendering to that doesn't mean it's taking an L. but it does mean that there's some room to get out of one's own way regarding not only just progress, like spiritual progress, but again, this theme of like emotional fulfillment, you know, this sense of protection. If you feel like, first of all, if you feel like there's something that's worth protecting, that means that something matters to you. That means that something is valuable to you. So, lastly, we have this King of Spades, reading number 47. And it pictures a king and a bride. And it says, the bride ensures for a single person the fulfillment of their highest aims when near, if distant, turbulent married life. So this is about the relationships that we have. This is about the connections that bind us and tie us to life. And I feel like the king represents a great sort of reckoning, a great sense of reckoning, somebody reconciling their desires with themselves. So all parts of themselves are on board. I'm kind of hearing like the only way to like kind of claim success for yourself is to like, part of me feels like it has to do with making sure all parts of yourself are there in order to receive that success. You know, you can't be off in this realm and in that realm. I mean, maybe you can, and that's dope if you can. If you can, show me how, please. Just like DM me and we'll talk. But like, you know, it's like, it's okay if you're not like kind of doing a million different things and doing what other people are doing. It matters that you're doing what brings you joy. And the conversation that you have with God, the divine, the universe, your guides, whatever name that source relationship is filed under, trust that. And if you don't know how to trust that yet, forgive yourself anyway and try to trust again. So the last card that we have is the Three of Spades. It reads number 10. And it says, the pig, whether near or far, is an omen of phenomenal luck and great abundance, high honors, and all ambition attained. So this is a hefty message for just a week. I get it, y'all. I get it. My spirits go deep though, you know, so I do want to own the part of me that's in this reading, right? But I do want to say that I'm glad that I broke it into 3 different groups, because part of me feels like that's the theme that spirit wants to sort of massage out of us this week. The parts of the collective that this message reaches. I feel like that's kind of like where spirit wants us to kind of like pivot our attention to if we're going to be doing that work. And so if any of these like groups align for you, let me know. And I'm curious now, especially those who are here live, like which group are you feeling now? We're feeling 3. We got some feeling 3. As a way of opening to 1. Oh shit. I love how that's woven. Guy says feeling 2. Ashe. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling into 1 and 3 with like 2 in the background, like guiding me a little bit through this week. This was so lit. I feel like, are there any last words, Spirit? Like, what the world can we prepare for this week? I feel like this has to do to localize it. I'm feeling heart. I'm feeling roots. Yeah, guys says I'm gonna have to run this back. I think I will too, because I was just kind of straight coming off the dome. But I feel like there's something really auspicious up this week. The last thing I did want to share is the Oracle card. The oracle card represents gracious receptivity. Definitely. Nobu says eclipse prep for sure. That totally aligns for me too. And so I'll read a little bit of the gracious receptivity card. I'll just read it as a divination. And then I'm gonna let Craig go and let y'all go. I really appreciate you guys for hanging. So we have gracious receptivity, the divinatory meaning. Consider your relationship with gratitude, how comfortable you feel receiving, and what you love to give. Are there themes that allow you the joyous overflow of giving without limitation? How can you add this to the lives of others more often, away from the fear that you will get, quote, used up if you give without guaranteed reciprocity? Are there areas where you are overextending yourself? Can you give more from areas where you are stronger and have more skill and capacity? Right now, you may feel you have little to give, and if so, allow yourself to receive more. The gift of the sun on your face on a winter's day or a compliment from a stranger. Allow yourself to drink every drop. Okay, purrrr. That was me, not the booklet. After all, it is up to you how deeply you wish to drink the gift that is shared. Often, we take only a little sip, even when there is so much more we could appreciate. And yet, it is beautiful when you give to someone and they light up and receive it fully. Gratitude, self-love, and self-worth are interwoven with the capacity to receive. Together, they nourish your soul. Step into your heart space by listing all you are grateful for if you want to, and notice how full you start to feel. From this place, your gifting capacity can spiral upwards. Shame. Ashe. Thank y'all so much for reflecting. Anna says, I've never seen this one before. Yeah, I've seen it a couple times, but when it comes up, it feels like divine, shielding, feminine, shielding energy. Noah says, thank you for the spread. This format is really novel and it feels pretty divinely led to me. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Guy says this card was the best sum up of the spread. Thank you for saying. All right, y'all who tuned in asynchronously, thanks so much for being here. Tune in next week, every Monday. I think I'm going to change the time to field tuning, honestly, to 9 p.m. This happens every quarter. Thank you for bearing with me. I have seasons just like the earth. So, yeah, I'll update y'all. But again, thank you for tuning in. The date won't change, though, so I'll be here every Monday in the Broom Radio. Holla at me to join. Feel free to comment again and let me know how this reading hits for you. If you want to book a session with me, you can go to intrepidbodies.com, click the booking link, and shop from there. And that is all. Take care.